What up, Music Blueprint? Welcome to today's episode. I'm really excited because I have a really good friend of mine, Natalie Jane, with me. Yay!
Hi.
And I'm super pumped because I met all these crazy little minor influencers when I was on American Idol. And what was actually funny was we would have basically adults, like me and older on the show, and none of us had a following. And then we get all these minors that we're having to do top 40 with, and all of them have like 100,000 plus on just one platform. I'm just talking about one platform. Like Natalie's got, how much do you have on TikTok now?
Like 340.
Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous. Okay, ridiculous. I just wish I was a kid again so I could go back in time and when Facebook came out, just go in on Facebook and Instagram. But I don't know. Who knows? But anyways, Natalie, why don't you introduce yourself? Say a little about yourself for the people that don't know who you are. And
All right.
yeah.
Hi, my name is Natalie Jane. I'm 16 years old and I'm from New Jersey. As Gina said before, I met her on Idol, and honestly, it was like the best thing that could have ever happened because we've done so much writing together. And like, just wait, guys, there's some music coming.
Yeah. That was so sweet. You put just the sweetest little tidbit in there. That was so nice.
That was so scary.
We have honestly like meeting. It's what was funny about American Idol for me was that the people that I ended up the closest with, like friend wise, were the people that were like a decade younger than me. And it was just, go ahead.
Yeah, like in Hawaii, it would be Lauren, Gina, and I. We would just be hanging out, and I'm like with my sister Lauren and my mother Gina. And
oh wow!
I'm kidding. You were 19 years old, Gina.
Yes. It was what was funny was it was just, I'm, as a lot of people know on this podcast, like I'm super into TikTok. I think TikTok is the best. I mean, other than like China taking all of our data, that's not great. But other than that, I think TikTok is the best. And I was telling everybody that I was trying to hang out with at American Idol, like, oh, you guys need to get on TikTok. Like TikTok's so cool, blah, 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 blah. And they were just kind of looking at me weird, and they wouldn't get like any of my jokes. And a lot of my jokes at that time were like TikTok jokes. And I would be like, well, this is more of a recent joke, but I'd be like, oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. And they'd be like, why are you doing that? And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Honestly,
so then I meet the minors and I'd make that joke and all of them were like, oh my God, that's so funny. And they would die and they would get it.
because TikTok's the best, honestly. My friend Bella, she was on it before me, and she kind of like got me into it. And now like my entire feed is singing TikTok unless they're like the super viral videos that like everyone sees. And I don't know. I was like on it this morning for an hour and a half, just right when you wake up.
It's addicting. So addicting. So addicting. Like if you thought Instagram was addicting, well, I will say this. For my people who remember, think back to when Instagram first came out, which Instagram first came out when I was in college. So think back to when it first came out and how kind of you were into it, but you still had like a distance between it. I'm telling you, when you get on TikTok, it's like once the algorithm figures out what you like,
yeah,
it's just you're flooded with the things that you love. Like my TikTok, my For You page on TikTok is not even singing. It's predominantly like cooking, just random humor things. I mean, just like it's not. I rarely see a singing vid, which is why Lauren always, when there's something that is a trend happening, like the driver's licensing or whatever, she sends it to me because I never get to see them. So she's really so nice when she does that. But
that's so cute.
Yeah, it's really cute.
But TikTok's honestly amazing also for like a business perspective. You get so much exposure and so many different people seeing you, because even though their For You page is like made for them, they still have like the other videos that sometimes trickle in. So like I'll get people that follow me that are singers, and then people who are just like, I don't know, who don't even care about singing. And it's just like, it's insane how many TikTok brings people together.
It does. It totally does. And it's if you're looking to get exposure in a somewhat quick way, TikTok would be the thing to go for right now. Like if you only have like one opportunity to double down on something, TikTok is where you need to double down. It's like it would be like buying real estate in New York City like 200 years ago. Like in the 1800s, if you would have bought a building in New York City and still had it today, you'd be like a freaking billionaire. That's what TikTok is right now. TikTok is 200 years before New York City got big. And if you buy it right now, when it does even blow up to an even bigger level, like people think it's not going to blow up even more than what it is right now. And I'm like, you're crazy. There are so many opportunities for TikTok to do other things. Like they've like barely tapped into ads. They've barely have really any celebrities on it. There are a few celebrities that are somewhat consistent now, but like even the Jonas Brothers, when they came out on TikTok, they were like hopping for a second and everybody's like, your TikToks are whack. And then they got off TikTok. Like I haven't seen a Jonas Brother video in TikTok in like forever.
Really? I just remember Billie Eilish's first TikTok video and it like blew up like that.
Blew up.
Obviously, Billie Eilish is right. Nah. Get my phone out of the ring light. She's on the wall. I just did this wall yesterday.
It's so cute.
Billie.
Aww. She loves green. Yeah,
Billie loves green. I actually don't like green, but I like the nature vibe of green. And I already had the vines, so I just had to make it work, you know?
Right. So, okay, so how did you get started in social media? Because I basically met you when you already kind of had a decent platform, like a pretty big platform already. So how did you, like, what was the start of Natalie Jane becoming an influencer, I would say?
So I started on Instagram when I was 13. And I was just like posting singing videos like weekly. I'd post a couple a week and they wouldn't do too great. I remember like 7th grade, because each year it like doubled. 7th grade, I had 1,500. 8th grade, I got to 3,000. And then 9th grade, I actually got to 7,000 when I started. But some time at the end of my freshman year in high school, my videos just started to like blow up, like hundreds of thousands of views on each video.
Wow.
I don't know how. I guess they're getting on the Explore page, not the For You page, because this is back on Instagram.
Right, different app. Yeah, different app.
Different app. But they just
everybody remember all the apps we're talking about because they have different lingos.
Yeah, but like they just started to blow up, and then over the summer it was really growing, and I went to Berklee College of Music for like a songwriting course there, and I met a girl there named Ali Navarro, and we did a video together, a video of us singing Roar by Katy Perry. And that video got like almost 1 million views on my Instagram, plus all the shout outs. It got like 10 million views. So that video is really like tens of thousands of followers, and then it's kept growing and growing, and that's where I am now.
Would you say that you were like really consistent about it? Like so you said like 3 videos a week, but like as you got further into it, like let's say the start of your 9th grade year when you had 7,000, were you then at that point posting a video a day, or were you still just kind of sticking to the 3 videos a week, random times, or like were you really like?
Yeah, something I noticed, at that time I was, it was, in the beginning, it was like kind of like 3 times a week, this day, this day, this day. When I started to just like record videos when I'm like, oh, I feel warm. I look half decent right now. I could record a video and post it. That's what kind of started to happen. But I did notice when you post less, your views go down. That's something I definitely noticed. So the more you post, the better.
Yeah. I had a weird thing happen too, where I was trying to kick it up a notch last year. Like I was like really kicking it up, and I was posting twice a day, and actually then my views went worse. So then Lauren was like,
really?
Why don't you just only post once a day? Cause she's like, then all of your followers are going to your like one video or one post that you're releasing. And then that ended up helping my views a lot. She said like the people I know that post twice a day, she was like, they already have like millions and millions of followers. So it actually works better for them because like maybe 2 million are in Europe. And so they're seeing one video and they're all going to that. And then the other 2 million that are in the US are like going to your other video that's like kind of in the evening or something. So anyways, when I did that, that really helped me. But I think you're totally right when it comes to like building from the ground up. Like just post once a day. If you're not posting once a day, you're going to have way less viewership. Because they all of the apps bless the user if you're consistent. They always like, you know what I mean? Like if you're just consistent about it, there's always a benefit. Same thing with YouTube. Like YouTube, it's like I had nothing, really nothing. And then I've like tripled it in the last year.
Really?
Yeah. Which I mean, still not a lot. I mean, I went from like 500 to 1500, but you know, if that happens again in the following year, then I'm going to go to 3000, you know, et cetera, if everything ends up popping off. So it's just one of those things where you just have to like a slow build, and it sucks when you're in the beginning because you're like,
yeah, the beginning, and there's like no traction. You're like, what am I doing this for? Yes. But you just have to, it takes time. Like, unless you're on TikTok, as Gina said, maybe your first video can get like millions of views. But on most platforms, it takes so much time and like to get into the algorithm, and like they disperse your videos onto other people's pages. It takes time.
Yeah. And what did you find too that like seems to work, or videos that people have seemed to like from you? Like what are the videos that have seemed to gone viral and you're like, okay, this seems to work. If I do a video like this every single time, it most likely will go viral.
Okay,
to a certain extent. Like I know viral is such a
no, I know what you mean.
Subjective like, thing, but you know.
Yeah, there's definitely a few things. One, moving cameras. I don't know what it is, but if I just put my phone down, it's like but if I have someone like holding the phone and it moves like a little, just like this much, like there's such a big difference. You can also ask, I was talking to Lauren about this the other day, like moving cameras, I don't know, maybe because like they feel like it's more interactive, or I don't know, but moving cameras definitely gets me more views. Standing up, like, I don't know, something about standing up and moving around.
Yeah.
Because at first I was posting videos of me just like at my piano, but then when those views started to go down, I'm like, maybe I should change something up. Right. So I would stand up, or I'd ask someone to hold the camera for me while I sing, and then those videos were doing better. And also a change of scenery. Like, again, I was always sitting at my piano, the same angle, and the views were going down. As soon as I started moving it around, like I started to get more views. I guess people want to see like something different.
Yeah, people are always trying to catch Bigfoot, right? They're always trying to like freaking find the something in the middle of environment that they've never seen before, right? So when you take a video, and like I found that like videos work better for me in my car. And I know Lauren, me and Lauren have talked about that too.
Car videos, absolutely.
Car videos do so well, so well. Like and then if you add in the thing of like, you know, you have your friend holding the video in the passenger seat while you're singing, while driving or something, like for some reason that just does really, really well. At least for TikTok. I know for TikTok it does.
Yeah, my latest video that did like really well on TikTok was me singing Heart Attack by Demi Lovato in a car.
Yeah. See? And that was Lauren's, the video for Lauren that, I don't know why we're talking about Lauren. We're talking about you. But we just love Lauren so much, and Lauren's a good friend of ours. Yeah, we love Lauren. But that's the video that made Lauren pop off too. Is she was in her car. She was like, I looked like crap, and I just happened to turn the video on, and she's like, and it ended up getting 40 million views.
Crazy.
What? That's insane. So then she ended up popping off. She's like, something about the car just always seems to work. I think just people want to see. They just want to see things in an organic way. Yeah. What you driving? What's your whip look like? They just want to see things very organic. They want to catch you almost like in nature. Like, oh, wow, this girl's just singing, and like randomly, like she's in her car. There's no way there could be auto-tune. There's no way there could be this. It's just like, that's her voice, and it's that good. Yeah. You know? So it's
like, they see who you really are. You're not always wearing like a full face of makeup in your car. Right. I never wear a full face of makeup in my car now that I think about it. But you're just like, you're by yourself, or unless someone's filming you, you're just like jamming out to the song. It's just a vibe. Yeah. And that's definitely another thing. When I post videos, when I'm smiling in the videos, those always do better. When especially when I show like a lot of energy on the piano, I'll be like, baby, let's just turn down the lights, and like just also put in like a crazy riff or something, whatever.
Oh my god, TikTok loves riffs too.
But just like put a smile on your face, because the sad songs are great, and especially when there's like a viral sad song, you sing it, do it, show that emotion. But like, people love seeing other people happy. Like, I know a lot of people don't believe it, but happiness bounces off from other people. If I'm like really positive, someone around me can like pick that up, and it just
Yeah.
like spread of positivity. I think it's a real thing, and I
Yeah.
think smiling in your videos helps that.
Yeah, and I think too, like, we're just kind of like adding to that is the fact of like, a lot of the things that go viral are either the really great things or the really bad things, right? And the really bad
Mhm.
things seem to cloud the good things sometimes. We see all this craziness on social media and we think, gosh, people are just horrible. But then you realize when you have interaction with people day in and day out, you're like, no, actually, most people are good. That's a wrong representation of what people are.
Yeah.
And so then I think when people find a video of you smiling and having a good time, and you bring them even just a smidge of happiness, just watching how excited you are. Like all my videos that have popped off are me like being like, yo, listen to this song. And I'm like
Yeah, the one's
freaking
like,
out.
I'm listening to my song for the first time, and then you're
Yeah.
just so happy, and I'm in my comments, I'm like, yes, Gina,
Yeah.
yes.
And everybody's like freaking out and they're just like, oh my God, I just love how pumped you are. Like I actually was laughing the other day because two people commented on this video I did of circles of like me listening to it in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like freaking out so much that I'm like, listen to the drop. And I'm like, here we
That
go. And
one.
I'm freaking out. And somebody goes, you were screaming so loud, I couldn't even hear the drop. And I was like, and I just commented back. I was like, the price I pay for being too hype on my own music or whatever. But people just
You should have
love.
been like, oh, maybe you should just go look it up on iTunes.
I did. I said that too. I literally said, the price I pay for being too hype of my own music, but here's the link to look it up so you can actually hear it. Um, but yeah, no, it's just people love uh when you make them happy. There's a connective thing to that. And I think especially right now with everything that's going on, COVID, and now in the US we just had all this political stuff. Like it's just we're all exhausted. We're just
Yeah.
really tired and ready for it to just have some peace. And so it's nice when you get to see a video and somebody's just smiling and having a great time with it, and you're just like, oh, this is great. Like this is
Yeah,
reminds
why
me
do you
that there is
think puppy
happiness.
videos? Why do you think puppy videos always go so viral?
Oh
They
my
make me so
God.
happy.
I love a good puppy video.
Little puppies and they can't even walk in. They're
Oh
like,
my gosh. The one where they're like, wee, wee.
wee.
Oh my God, did wee. Like that one just gets me every time. Or like there's this, I don't know if you've seen these, I don't even know their handle. I know I follow them, but there's these two little white dogs and they always
Yeah.
do the dance. And they're like Maltipoos or something, and their owner always puts their hair in like a ponytail, like a high pony at
Yeah.
the top, and then has them dance, and they show their little belly, and their little belly is so cute. Oh my God, I
That's so
just can't
cute.
handle it. Anyways,
I
we could talk
I
about dog videos all day.
my dog is the biggest and fluffiest boy in the world. I love
I'm
him.
surprised you haven't done any videos with your dog.
You should.
Yeah, who knows?
Next
Dog
time.
videos always do good.
Heck yeah.
Right, singing to my dog. My dog's response to my singing.
He just looks the other way and
He's
ignores
like,
me.
uh.
Ah, oh
So
well.
what are your like social media rules that you kind of like have for yourself? Like the things that you're like, I have to do this every day, like just on a consistency format. Like you're like, okay, is it like I post every day, or I make sure to post at the same time every day, or maybe it's a combination, or maybe it's something else. What's kind of your like rules that you have for yourself that you're like, I have to do this every day because this keeps my social media platform moving forward?
So I definitely I don't necessarily post every day. I'm trying to get back on that grind though. But I always check on my insights. When you get to a certain amount of followers, I think they show you your insights
Mm-hmm.
and you can see what time your followers are the most active.
Mm,
So I look at that, and for me it's 3 p.m. my time,
mm,
Eastern Standard Time. So I always like to post 3 p.m. between like 2 and 4. That's when I do it. Like
okay.
8 p.m. you could just see it in the first 10 minutes. The views just aren't as strong when they aren't in
Mm,
that time frame.
yeah.
So that's definitely one of my rules. Another one is that I'd say like 3 years ago, I'd be posting my videos. I wouldn't really be wearing makeup. And I know people like the raw look, but I think making an image of yourself is really important.
Mm.
So having like a consistent look, like do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
no, I know
Alicia
exactly
Keys,
what you mean.
yeah, like Alicia Keys though, like she's an example of like she doesn't wear makeup. She's gorgeous. Like everyone
Right.
knows that Alicia Keys gorgeous
Beautiful.
without makeup. I think everyone is beautiful without makeup, but like the certain look that makes you consistent where someone sees your face, they're like, "Oh, that's Natalie Jane." Someone sees
Right.
the streak in Gina's hair, they're like, "Oh my God,
Mhm.
that's Gina Fontanella."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, no,
it's stuff like
totally.
that. Like your brand.
Yeah, people see me in like a baggy outfit with my hair, and they're like, "Oh, that's Gina." Like
Mhm.
it's just a simple thing. Yeah, if you can have some kind of continuity in your videos, that's always great. I will say, like, don't let that prevent you from posting videos. If you're like, oh,
Oh,
like I don't have clothes or whatever, like I think, quality is so subjective. There's no like numerical amount. The only thing that's a numerical amount is quantity. So just don't let it prevent you from posting. But if you start getting to the point, you know, start, or at least start thinking about it, thinking about like what your consistent look is. I mean, like even look at Natalie's like screen right now. Obviously if you're just listening, you can't see it, but like she's got a whole vibe going on in that corner. It's literally just a corner. Like 9 times out of 10, the videos that I see on TikTok are literally just a corner in a room with a light. There's not even anything behind it. And she's got like cool things behind it. Like some people would even watch the video 10 times just to figure out all the things she's got going on right now.
that was actually my goal yesterday. I'm like, are people gonna see Harry Potter right here? My
Yeah.
crush. Ooh. Not
My
anymore. He's
crush.
too old now. He's too old. But I'm watching the movies now, and let me tell you, 16-year-old Harry Potter.
Lauren and I talked about last night how when she comes out to LA, we want you to come out to LA, and we're gonna go to Universal so we can go to Harry Potter World. How exciting
Because
would that
I've
be?
been there before. I've been there before. I
Yeah.
went actually, yeah. And I was like, what's all the hype about? It's just a book. And that's before I read it. And
Yeah.
now I want to go back and I'm going to be like,
Right. And I've heard it's really, really cool too. I haven't even
mhm.
gone, and obviously, I live in LA, so I'm like, I've just heard really, really great things about it. So I'm
Well,
pumped. I'm down. I was like, I'll take these two teenagers to a theme park.
yeah, it's the mommy taking the two kids.
First of all, I just laugh so hard when I think about who I'm friends with, because most of the time it's either they're way older than me or they're like way younger than me, right? I'm not typically friends with a lot of people in my age group, and it always makes me laugh because then like when me and Lauren talk and we're like, yeah, we can't wait for like, you to come out to LA, and I'm like, I'm gonna take you guys to a theme park. We're going to Disneyland. Like I'm like all pumped that and you would think like this, you would think I'm younger than what I am by the way I talk about it. And everybody's
Yeah, when
like,
we were in Hawaii, I was like, there's no way she's older than 20.
yeah, everybody thinks that. I get like 19, 20, 21 all the time. And I'm like, well,
Honestly,
all you
that's
have to
great.
do to be young is just not get married and don't have kids. It's that simple.
That's simple. I love that.
And you'll look young forever. I just watched this interview that Steve Harvey interviewed this lady, and he was like, "Oh my God, you look so young and beautiful. Like, what's your secret?" And she first said how old she was. I think she was like 60 or something. And I'm telling you, I would have not thought she was like older than 35. Okay, like,
That's
and
crazy. That's
so
like a Kris Jenner situation.
right, exactly. And well, Kris Jenner's had a lot of work done. Yeah, yeah. But and anyway, she was like, maybe she was in her 50s or something like that. And he goes, "So what's your secret?" She goes, "Well, I mean, all I can tell you is what I do is I drink a lot of wine, and I don't have kids, and I'm not married." So and I was like, "Well, there you go. Like, stay young forever if that's what you want. There you go."
I love
So
that.
okay, so you're on social media, you're doing all these different things, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I know, you're working on your artistry stuff and all of
Mhm.
that. But what's funny to me is I think back to when I was 16 and writing songs, and I'm like, oh my God, those songs were terrible. But you and I have written together. We've actually written some really great songs together. So where do you think where do you think your songwriting, I don't know, like started? What's your like process of that? Just give a little insight for somebody who's maybe your age that's like, oh my gosh, I don't know where to start.
Okay. Well, I guess I started when I was like 10. Obviously, they were horrible. My first song was called Fever.
Ooh.
Yeah, I didn't know what fever meant. I was definitely younger than 10. I don't know. But the point is that it progressed.
Right.
And I don't know, the way I write songs today are definitely very different than I would have like 2 years ago. After taking that course at Berklee College of Music 2 years ago, and then I took another course there this summer for production. And after taking the one for production, I started to prefer to write my songs to a track, and not necessarily a track that's given to me. I like to make the track, and in my head, I'm like, ooh, where is this going? What do I want to do here? And then like write the lyrics off of that vibe. That's just like one thing I like to do. Another thing is like Gina and I wrote a song the other day, and I was at the piano. I think the piano, like the raw, just do whatever you want right now, change the chords, do it. You have full control. Obviously, you do on a computer, on a software too, but with the piano, it's like your hands could do it right now, or on the guitar, your hands could do it right now. And I don't know, just like that raw environment. I think that's my favorite.
Yeah, I think I'm like right there with you. To me, it's like when you have if you can play an instrument, and I'm not saying you have to like play it. Like with piano, it's like as long as you can just figure out basic chords and get it into some kind of system, like Logic or Ableton or whatever. Then you can add, extra things in the program. But when it comes to writing, like if you can just lay it down on an instrument really quick, just to get an idea down, and just it gives you the opportunity to mess around with things, trying to come up with different ideas. I always go back to I kind of learned how to write in Nashville, so I always go back to the fact of if it sounds good on just me and an instrument, then it has a really great potential to sounding good produced. So
I really like that.
My goal is always to just make it sound good with either, like for me, I play mostly guitar. I can play piano too, but I've just gotten way better at guitar because of touring. It's easier to carry a guitar than a piano. But
what you said, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, if I had to carry a freaking piano around, that would have been crazy. But yeah, if my goal is always to just be like, if it sounds good with just me and guitar, it has a really good potential of sounding great produced. And that's what it always comes down to for me. That's why like a lot of times when people cover, like a few people have covered my songs, like they can do both. Like I'm not singing some like crazy like rhythms that are really hard to play and sing at the same time. Now, and I'm not saying there's not a place for that. I definitely think there's a place for that, depending on your skill. Like I probably can't play half of Charlie Puth's songs on keys.
Charlie Puth, every time, I think Charlie Puth is one of the most, sorry to cut you off, but you just said his name.
You're good.
I just think he's one of the most underrated artists, especially after following his TikTok. His TikTok is insane. The way he writes and produces music.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. Continue.
No. Keep talking about Charlie Puth, because I totally agree with you.
Like he posts videos on how he makes his songs, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I would never think of doing that. And like it just sounds so clean, and like his vocals are so clean, and
yeah. His vocal production
that's honestly it.
Yeah, his vocal production is insane, and he's obviously, I mean, it's very clear he's a very talented writer. He's just, I think what's great for him is he has such a mind for melodies. And so what happens is, even as a pop, even though he's pop, he has this capability with his like background to be able to play things that aren't typical pop stuff. It goes outside of the pop stuff. Like even like Attention, like dun 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 bum 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 bum. Like he puts like a major A chord, I think it is, or maybe it's in B flat, but he puts this major chord that's typically a minor chord in that major key. It's like who would even think to do that? Like that's just not a thing that's normally thought about in pop music. But because he has such this crazy background with keys and obviously I think he went to Berkeley as well. Like it's just he has this mind for melodies and how they all come together and craft together.
I think he majored in jazz music. I forget where I read or if I or saw him talking about it. I think he like had a major in jazz production or something like that. Yeah. But he incorporates that into like all of his songs. He also said in one of his TikToks that he beatboxes in every single one of his songs, and I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah, I've been trying to beatbox on tracks. No lie.
The one you sent me of our song the other day, I'm like, how did she do that? Boom, boom. Like you were making like a puh sound, but you were also like singing.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fun. I mean, like literally the one I sent you was like so trash, but no, like I've been trying to add little like little things in there like Timbaland does. Timbaland always in all of his productions, he'll be like boom boom or whatever. He's like boom 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 boom. You know, and he always adds those like little little things in there, and I'm like, dang, I kind of want to add that. Like, I just actually wrote a song a couple days ago that's has such a similar vibe to Cry Me a River. Really? And it's shit like the beat and everything. I told the producer, I was like, yo, you gotta please put your Timbaland hat on because this is a Timbaland beat. Like I need a Timbaland beat for this song. Like it's gotta be like Cry Me a River. And literally when I told the guy that, he was like, oh my God, this is so Cry Me a River.
I love that so much.
Yeah, it's so great.
That's like another thing when you write it raw, when you write a song raw, from there, you're not like stuck in the production you just made. From there, you can think, oh, do I want it to sound like this or this or this? And then you can take that path.
Yeah, it's always
like,
great
rather than starting at rather than starting at like stage 2, you're starting at like stage 1, I guess.
Yeah, and it's always great too to like if you have a vision in your head, then you have like a starting point, right? Rather than like when you just are looking at a blank screen, like a blank Logic screen, you're like, oh, where do I start with this beat? Where do like it's just it kind of gets a little overwhelming when you're first starting out. But if you have an idea of what you're wanting to do, like most of the people that I know when they first started out, they just started mimicking other people they liked at first. So they would be like, oh, I really like this Timbaland beat. Cool. Then they started trying to do a Timbaland beat. And then it just through curiosity has gotten them better and better, and then they started to find their own sound after that.
Yeah, that's actually that's something I've done. Bishop Briggs, she sings shut your mouth baby, stand and deliver. She's by far my favorite artist, and like I want my music to give off that kind of energy because I listen to her music and I just want to like turn the volume up all the way. I just want to like scream to her music and like jam out in the car, and that's how I want people to feel when they hear my music in the future. And that's honestly one time I just like sat and I was like analyzing one of her productions, just listening on my phone, and I'm like, oh, this comes in here, like that's coming from the bottom up or like in this ear, and I'm just like analyzing it, and I'm like, how can I take this and make it my own? And I've definitely done that with a few of my productions.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like you start the more understanding and the more knowledge you have, the more that you start hearing the things of what's going on, right? Like I listen to a song. It's really actually hard for me to listen to songs and just listen to them and just enjoy listening to them. I do my best, but a lot of times I'm listening and what gets me hyped is like, oh my God, I cannot believe they put that chord in there. Like, and I'm just like freaking out. I'm like, what? They put that in there. Or like the other day I wasn't freaking out about this one, but I was listening back through the Dua Lipa album. Yeah. And she has this little let me think about it for a second. I think it's Break My Heart. What's the chorus of Break My Heart again?
I honestly don't know.
Right? I thought I stayed at home. I was doing better alone, but then you said hello. know it's at the end of it all, right? She does this little ad lib and it goes, I would have stayed at home, but I would rather be alone.
Really?
It literally makes the whole freaking song, because the whole song is straight, right? And it's like, and that keeps going. And then she has this little ad lib that goes on top of it and it goes, I would have stayed at home, but I would rather be alone. Am I falling in love? And then she adds these oohs. She adds these oohs that go, ooh, like it's really dissonant, like oohs. That one goes down and the other one goes up. So they split. They go in opposite directions. And then it goes, ooh, ooh. And then it goes, falling in love with the other that break my heart. And then it goes into the beat. It's really brilliant.
I have to re-listen to that song.
The specific times in her few bigger tracks like Levitation, Break My Heart, even Don't Start Now, they were very, very intentful on background vocals. It wasn't just, I'm going to have a background vocal the whole chorus, which is very typical. Okay. That's just normal. Yeah. No, literally that song was, well, there's one song like Levitation. She doesn't have I think it's Levitation. She has no harmonies in it, except for very few specific moments, like the last line of the chorus or whatever. It's really kind of crazy when you listen to some of her vocal production and the way that they did certain things. It's kind of inspiring.
I love that. I'm gonna definitely listen to some Dua Lipa after this, because she's not usually my go-to to listen to.
Right.
Now, Louis Capaldi's last album, I'm all over that. That's the raw album I've ever heard. I love it so much.
I love his album, but I always have a bone to pick with him because he sings a song in the highest key for a boy ever. And then you go and look at his live performances and it's 2 whole steps down.
Really?
2. We're not even talking about a half or a whole. 2 whole steps. It went from B to G. And I was like, bro, what?
Oh my goodness.
And he's and he's singing it so emotionally. It almost makes it seem oh, I lowered the key to make this more emotional, quieter and bring you in. But I'm like, bro, we all know you can't sing that live every night. You know what I'm saying? That song is high.
Yeah. Don't Get Me Wrong is one of my favorite ones of him. And now that I think about it, it's super high for a guy.
Yeah, really high. All of his stuff is crazy, crazy high. I bet you when you go to his concert, his whole album is just 2 whole steps down. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. Oh my gosh. Same thing with Charlie Puth though.
Really?
Charlie Puth has we already know from vocal production wise that he has crazy vocal production, but he's very specific on when he does BGVs. Yeah. He does them sometimes very stabby, or holds off on them until the bridge. Mm-hmm. Attention is kind of like that. Attention is just you
saves
just want attention, right? It's really just his well, it's not a single voice, but it's mainly just the lead vocal, and then it comes in with that bridge, and the bridge has all those BGVs, and then the lead vocal is kind of doing an ad lib thing.
Yeah.
So it's very.
We did that on one of our songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which one? I forget. Whatever.
Yeah, we've written a lot. We've written a lot recently.
I love that so much. But yeah, I honestly think that's such a fun way to go about it. And you could just do whatever you want on stage. Oh, the stage is the best.
Yeah, the stage is literally every person I bring on here, every single person, we all talk about at the end of the day, we're all just trying to get back to the stage.
Honestly, it's such the energy is so insane when you're up there. You don't even know what you're doing. Especially on Idol, on that stage we were on. I don't know how many people were in the audience, 1,000.
Yeah, I think it was a little more than that, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, especially if you counted the people that came out of their balcony or on their balconies, and the people that were at the restaurant, because all the people at the restaurant
screaming. There were a lot at the restaurant.
Yeah, all the people at the restaurant were people that wanted to get in, but they couldn't get in because it was already filled, so they went to the restaurant. Yeah.
That's so funny. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so there's probably like 2,000 people there, but yeah.
That's crazy. Like the people, everyone's screaming and like they're putting their hands out to you. And I'm like, ah!
I know.
I didn't even know. I'm so sad I didn't get like a video of it because I know some people were on the side like filming, their mom was filming their performance or something. But like they were very strict about the phones. So I was just like, oh, it's all right.
Yeah.
But I wish I'd have.
You already had your phone in hand too for your little picture that you did in the beginning.
I know I
should have just
left
laid it down and kept it going. That would have been so funny.
The video was great.
Okay,
when was Hawaii? Hawaii was like a year ago.
I know.
That's
literally a year ago. Like I think I got back February 5th, I want to say.
I got back on February 2nd or 3rd.
Oh. What? We got back the same time. I think it was like the 5th. It was Super Bowl.
No, because we got results. We got results on the 1st, and we flew back the 2nd.
Oh, maybe Super Bowl was the 2nd. Maybe I had like a dyslexic moment where it was like a 5 for a 2 or something.
Nice.
Okay, so before we end this, give me give the listeners 2 or 3 things that you would suggest them to do. Like, these are the things with social media, or just even if you have, maybe it's not with social media, maybe it's just as an artist, but give like the people 2 or 3 things that you're like, do this and it'll help you.
Okay. 1, get on TikTok.
Facts.
Just do it. It's so easy for one of your videos to blow up. And it's not just like, oh, yeah, your followers on TikTok. It's like when someone sees your video, they want to see your whole page. Then they click the link in your bio. Then they listen to your music. Then they get attached on your music. It's like a whole thing. Get on TikTok. Number 2, I would, if something is not working for you for your posts, like try to change it up. Like what I said before, when I'm just sitting at my piano and like it's the same background every time, same thing. Like people want to see something new. People want to see something different, and they want to see like you grow. So just try to change things up until like you see some improvement. And 3, honestly, write with as many people as you can. Right? Like it's amazing to write with yourself, and there's so much emotion when you do that. But collaborating with other people, let's just say you have like a writer's block, they just fix it like that. You just like keep going, and not even if it's like that, you guys build your ideas off of each other. So if you think you have a good song by yourself, just write one with someone else, even if it's like your friend and she doesn't even, or he doesn't even like music. Just the fact that you can bounce your ideas off of each other just brings the song to another level.
I will totally agree with all of the points, but that last point, writing with other people is the key to your success as an artist, because look, like 9 times out of 10, we're our own worst enemy, and we're also our biggest encourager sometimes. And we'll write a song and think it's the best thing ever. In reality, if you had somebody else to bounce some ideas off of, it probably would have been better. So that's the way to connect with people too. Like the music industry is all about connection. So how are you going to find connection? Well, writing with other people is a really easy way to do that. And you just connect on vulnerabilities and memories and things that you're recounting that has happened to you in your life and all these different things. It's just a really easy way to just connect and start building your business, because it's a business.
Heck yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on here.
Of course, Gigi.
Literally are such a good friend of mine. Even though we're a decade apart, you're such a good friend of mine, and you're always so willing to do videos with me and write with me and all these different things. I just am so, so thankful for you, and I'm so, so thankful that you came on this podcast. So,
Gina, I love you.
Aww. Well, that's it, guys.
We're a decade apart. We're 2,000 miles apart.
Yeah, I know.
But look, we're still here together.
We're still here. Make sure to follow Natalie. Natalie, what is all your stuff? I'll make sure to put it throughout this whole video, but tell the people.
My Instagram and TikTok are Natalie Jane Sings. I think everything is Natalie. Everything's Natalie Jane Sings.
I was about to say, everything's Natalie Jane Sings. So follow Natalie. Again, you'll hear her awesome voice, the new song she's doing, all of the things that she's already mentioned. And she's gonna pop off, so even more than she already has. So go check her out. All right, see you guys next week. Peace.
Bye. Thank you.